effect.
642. Check this out. This is an interesting story. This is Proposition A that's on the November ballot here in Austin. It's a proposition on the Austin City ballot that could negatively have an impact on youth sports organizations and raise participation fees for participants citywide. Proposition A. It'll be on the ballot for Austin voters to consider in November. It would require any use of city-owned land for any sports facility or entertainment facility to be approved by a supermajority of the council and approved by voters in an election. This is the fallout of Michaela Place and the soccer stadium. You know what I mean? They got all kinds of tax breaks. Yeah, the proposition would also require organizations that lease city-owned land to pay taxes or fees equal to the taxable value, meaning Michaela Place. Well, it was driven by a petition effort earlier this year from those opposed to Austin's new Major League Soccer stadium, which required a lease of city property. However, the ordinance also has far-reaching effects on youth sports facilities and organizations that rent buildings and facilities and fields from the city. Lee Nichols is with the North Austin Soccer Alliance. He's the president and expressed some deep concerns over this proposition, saying that it threatens their ability to negotiate with the city over the fields they currently lease. Now, Nichols said that there are at least 5 city-owned athletic fields that NASA currently uses. That's the North Austin Soccer Alliance. Now, he said tax increases on the land could potentially lead to the extinction of the organization. They may go out of business.
Yeah.
At the very least, it would lead to a price hike for participants and their families. Here's a quote to K-View on the story here. We are a nonprofit organization that serves youth in the community, and we try to make ourselves as affordable as possible. We would rather do this where we're able to sit down with the city and the staff and negotiate our lease rather than put it up front and before voters that may not have ever heard of the organization.
I was going to say, I mean, with voters, the majority of us aren't going to even know what field or what organization or what team or whoever is involved in any of this, what it is, and it's not going to connect. Voters are not going to connect, or very few voters will connect to it.
I think a lot of people listening would want that soccer team, that professional soccer team, to pay taxes, to the fullest, right? But not necessarily the local softball team.
No,
the local baseball club of 8-year-olds.
No.
Some of these kids can barely afford to even be on the team.
These organizations that in so many cases, I'm sure, change lives, that head kids off in another direction where maybe their direction was not a good one before. A lot of it's just incalculable as far as the difference it makes in a lot of kids' lives. You don't want to do anything to hinder that.
Well, listen, there's more to this story. We'll get the reaction from Andy Hogue. He's the communications director for the Travis County GOP. We'll get their reaction straight ahead. Right now, though, 6:45, we take a look at traffic, and here's Don Pryor. So a proposition on the City of Austin ballot come November could have a negative impact on youth sports. Yeah, the Proposition A. It's on the ballot for you to consider, voters here in Austin. It would require any use of city-owned land for any sports facility or entertainment facility to be approved by a supermajority of the council and approved by voters in an election. And they got to pay taxes, according to this deal. If you vote yes on this. But some say this could have a negative impact on youth sports here in town. The Travis County GOP issued a statement in support of the local ballot referendum. The GOP spokesperson said the precinct chairman decided by unanimous voice vote to support Prop A. Now, Andy Hogue is the communications director for the Travis County GOP, and he said that sports and entertainment projects, both new and old, have the potential to affect people's lifestyles, drive time, city infrastructure.
Right.
Therefore, people should be able to have a place to vote on it. Here's a quote from Andy Hogue. We deserve the right to discuss it. It is something we need. Is this something that will affect the community? And what better place than the ballot box to have this discussion is what Andy Hogue said. Now, if they have a good project that affects the community, builds morale, and improves the life of our youth, then yeah, let's hear about it. Now, Proposition A was made possible by a petition effort of this PAC Indy Austin and Fair Play Austin groups, which expressed opposition to Austin's MLS stadium deal, Austin FC over there at Michaela Place. Circuit of the Americas chairman Bobby Epstein was a known opponent of this MLS stadium deal, as well as the funder of the Fair Play Austin PAC as well. However, while Fair Play initially supported the effort to challenge Austin FC's deal, Fair Play Austin PAC sent a statement on August the 19th explaining that Prop A had drifted from its original intent and in its current condition would do more harm than good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PAC said it would not undertake any effort to support this proposition. That's pretty interesting. Francis Luca is with the Friends of Michaela Place. Her group still supports Proposition A and says, quote, "We still believe that citizens should have the right to vote on how to use public land and public money."
I understand the basic concept there, but the problem is, and as lucky as we are in this country to be able to vote, to have the right to vote, and on so many different issues and so many different political positions and offices and so forth, still many times certain issues get really screwed up because they go to vote and they become very confusing. And this would be one of those. This would be one of those things, again, where people would not connect to it in the way that would make a positive difference. There'll be some people standing there in the voting booth going, I don't even know what the hell this is. I don't even know what they're talking about. And they'll even vote the wrong direction. Or they'll pass. They'll just completely pass on it.
I think we can reach a compromise. Why does it have to be a this or that in this process? I think everybody listening would like to tax those big boys, Major League Soccer that come to town.
Yeah.
Bobby Epstein's,
Yeah.
those folks.
Yeah.
But how about some exceptions to the rules? If we vote yes on Prop A, could there be some exceptions for youth sports, soccer, basketball, whatever facility they use that is owned by the public? I don't think anybody wants to tax those organizations out of existence, right? Their parents are the ones that vote.
No.
So there's got to be a compromise, some sort of middle ground here so that the taxpayers and the people get what they want and youth sports is able to survive.
This sounds like a really bad idea to me. It really does. This is going to potentially, and maybe we're just thinking worst case scenario here.
This is another of the trickery of the city council and their wording.
That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was thinking, like they did with the city audit, where come on, you mean to tell me that the voters, that the mass voting public here in Austin did not want that audit? We got tricked into that, and that's what I could see happening here.
It is 6:50. Got this story on the front page of our website at newsradioklbj.com.